The government is expanding on a green budget line item, making the purchase of zero-emission vehicles more accessible. Starting Monday, the Incentives for Zero-Emission Vehicles program will be expanded to include the purchase of minivans, light-duty pickup trucks, and SUVs. The rebate price cap is being raised to $65,000 for cars up to $70,000 for larger vehicles. Ottawa will also put in place a sales target so at least 20% of new passenger vehicles sold in Canada will be zero emission by 2026, at least 60% by 2030, and 100% by 2035. So let's bring in the Minister of the Environment and Climate Change, Steven Guilbault, to chat about all this. Happy Earth Day, Minister. Good to have you on the show.
Thank you very much, Joyce.
So I want to go to the 20% of new passenger vehicles sold in Canada in the next 4 years and 60% by 2030. You know, that sounds like it's ambitious, and it has to come with massive infrastructure right across the country, like charging stations. So I'm wondering, is Canada ready for that?
I would agree with you. It is an ambitious target. Are we ready? I'd say we are getting ready. If you look at provinces like British Columbia and Quebec, which have put in place incentive programs many years ago, which have put in place mandatory sales vehicle for car manufacturers, we're already around 12, 13, 14% of new sales that are electric vehicles or plug-in hybrids. So going from 14 to 20% in these two provinces will not be that difficult. And last year in Canada overall, we saw a jump of almost 2% in the sales of electric vehicles. Now we're still on average in Canada, just around a little over 5%. We are deploying fast charging stations across the country. We've already, in the last few years, we've deployed more than 20,000 of these stations, charging stations, and our goal is to deploy 50,000 fast charging stations across the country. And we're also working with the auto sector, car companies, but also investing massively in battery technologies in Canada. In the last month and a half, my friend and colleague, Minister Champagne, Minister of Innovation and Economic Development, announced 4 different deals with GM, LG, BASF for the construction in Canada of new plants to build either batteries or battery components. So it's really a whole approach that we're taking to electrification.
No, I understand that, and it sounds great, but it is a huge change. This is a very big country. You know, people use their car a lot to go from one city to the other. That's why I asked you about charging stations, right? A colleague of ours went from, Ontario to the Atlantic provinces and, sort of chronicled his ride. And it was not easy. It took, a day and a half more because there were no charging stations. So you will have to accompany this ambitious 20% by 2026 of sales of electric vehicles with a huge infrastructure across the country, even in remote areas.
Absolutely, and I don't personally own a vehicle. I've never owned one, but my service vehicle as minister is 100% electric vehicle. So I totally understand what some of the challenges are. I'm living it, and when I talk to my cabinet colleagues, I talk about the fact that we need to invest in charging stations, but it can be done. I mean, you look around the world, Norway, where already 50% of new vehicles sold are electric vehicles. It's a coal country. And Norway, from coast to coast, is also a big country. I mean, it's more than 3,000 kilometers wide or long, depending on how you want to look at it. And they've done it. They've deployed fast charging stations almost at every 100 kilometers on highways. So we have a few models around the world that we can look to say, well, it's a country comparable to ours in terms of climate, in terms of distance, and they're doing it. So that's exactly what we're doing in Canada, deploying. I mean, we're in 2022, so we're not in 2026. We have 4 more years. We went from almost no public charging stations funded by the federal government to 20,000 installed in a matter of a few years, Joyce. So we can certainly get to 50,000 in the coming years and then even more beyond that.
Okay, but like, I want to ask, so this program was launched in 2019. It offered a $5,000 rebate for fully electric vehicles, $2,500 for hybrid, but the vehicle had a price cap of $55,000. Now you've raised the cap to $65,000 for cars and to $70,000 for larger vehicles. So these rebates seem to be for people who can afford, fairly expensive cars.
Well, I mean, it's true that electric vehicles are more expensive than internal combustion engine, although experts tell us that they won't be much of a price difference in the coming years. Is it 2025 or 2026, maybe even before that? We've put our incentive program in place until 2025. But you have to look, when you look at purchasing an electric vehicle, you have to understand that the cost of operating the vehicle is a fraction of what the cost of operating a gas-powered vehicle is. The cost of electricity is a fraction of the cost of gasoline. So what would cost $100 round trip from Montreal to Ottawa, or even more, will cost you about $8 to $10 with electric vehicles. So certainly the cost of purchasing a vehicle is an important criteria, but you have to also look at the overall cost of operating the vehicle as well.